Imagine a world where the sun doesn't rise so much as it is cued. Imagine a world where every breeze is generated by a fan the size of a wind turbine, and every star in the night sky is a high-intensity bulb numbered and mapped on a grid. This is Sea Haven Island. To the unsuspecting eye, it is the pinnacle of the American dream, a coastal paradise of pastel-colored houses and neighborly waves. But to the rest of the planet, it is the set of The Truman Show, a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week broadcast that has captured the global imagination for 3 decades. At the heart of this artifice is Truman Burbank. He was the first human being to be legally adopted by a corporation. He doesn't know that his mother is an actress under a lifetime contract, that his father's death was a script point designed to give him a manageable phobia, or that his wife, Meryl, chooses her wardrobe based on which sponsors are paying the highest premium that season. It is day 10,909. Truman's life is a loop of predictable comfort. He buys his morning paper from a man who has held that same prop newspaper for 12 years. He greets the Spencers.
Morning, morning. Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
But today, the Omnicom Corporation, which owns the show, experiences a catastrophic hardware failure. A massive studio light, labeled Sirius 9S, snaps its cable and plunges through the artificial atmosphere. It shatters on the street, inches from Truman's feet. Truman stares at the glass. He looks at the clear blue sky. There are no planes, no construction. The light fell from nowhere. He picks up the debris, his brow furrowed, and for the first time in 30 years, the director of photography in the control room realizes they have a problem. Truman isn't just following the script anymore. He's starting to look at the sky and wonder what's behind the blue. Truman's day continues, but the glitches are compounding. As he drives to work, his car radio, usually a stream of easy-listening hits and cheery local news, malfunctions. It picks up the production team's internal communication frequency.
Target is turning onto Lancaster. Pedestrians, clear the crosswalk. Move, move.
Truman freezes. He turns the wheel sharply, and the voice on the radio reacts in real time. He realizes he is the target. He stops at a red light and watches the people. He sees a woman in a red hat. He waits. 60 seconds later, the woman in the red hat passes again, then the yellow Volkswagen, then the man on the bicycle. It is a carousel of humanity, spinning around him in a tight, controlled radius. He decides to test the perimeter. He bolts into a building he's never entered. An insurance skyscraper that is, in reality, a facade filled with monitors and dressing rooms. He forces his way toward an elevator. When the doors slide open, the illusion falls away entirely. There is no elevator car. He sees a group of actors in the middle of their lunch break, sitting on crates, a table of donuts behind them, and a technical crew staring back in stunned silence.
Who are you? Why are you eating in the elevator shaft?
Before he can get an answer, security, actors playing guards, grapples him and drags him back to the street. They tell him it's a remodeling project, but Truman's eyes are wide. He sees the staged nature of the world. He sees the way the traffic only starts when he turns a corner. He sees the way his wife, Meryl, looks at the kitchen camera when she talks about the incredible flavor of a certain brand of cocoa.
Why don't you let me fix you some of this mococoa drink? All-natural cocoa beans from the upper slopes of Mount Nicaragua.
Who are you talking to? Meryl, look at me. What is happening?
She doesn't look at him. She looks past him, toward the hidden lens in the fruit bowl. She is terrified, not because she cares for Truman, but because she's afraid of being fired. As Truman's world begins to fracture, the production reaches for its most powerful weapon, emotional manipulation. They don't use a cage of steel. They use a cage of friendship. Truman, manic and hollow-eyed, flees to the one place he feels safe, the unfinished bridge at the edge of town, to meet Marlin. Marlin has been Truman's best friend since they were 7 years old. They shared a sandbox, their first beers, and their deepest secrets. But as they sit on the edge of the bridge, dangling their feet over the dark water, we see the terrifying truth of their bond. While Truman pours his heart out, we see the moon control room. Christoph is hunched over a microphone, his voice echoing in Marlin's hidden earpiece.
I think I'm losing it, Marlin. It's like the whole world revolves around me somehow. Everyone seems to be in on it. I feel like I'm the point of a joke I don't understand.
Christoph watches the monitor, his face inches from the screen. He whispers into the mic.
Look at him, Marlin. Give him the I know you look.
Truman, look at me. I've been your friend for 22 years. Look at the history we have. Do you really think I'd be part of some giant conspiracy?
Christoph continues to feed the lines.
The point is, Truman, I know you. I know you better than you know yourself. And I'm telling you, you're just tired. You're stressed.
This is the ultimate betrayal. Every tear Marlin sheds in this scene is a cue. Every pause for emotional effect is directed by a man sitting in a climate-controlled room miles away. Truman wants to believe him so badly that he lets his guard down. He wants the world to be simple again. He wants his friend to be real.
I want to go somewhere else. I want to see something that isn't planned.
There's nowhere else to go, buddy. This is it. This is the best place on Earth. Why would you want to leave paradise?
As they sit there, the camera pulls back, revealing that even this private moment of male bonding is being framed by a wide-angle lens for a global audience of millions. The music swells a poignant artificial piano melody to tell the viewers exactly how to feel. In the Truman Bar, people wipe their eyes. They think they are watching a beautiful moment of friendship. In reality, they are watching a psychological ambush. Marlin hands Truman a cold beer. The label is turned perfectly toward the camera. Even in his darkest hour, Truman is a billboard. He takes a sip, comforted by a lie, not realizing that the man he trusts most in the world is currently waiting for the director to say, "Cut," so he can go home to a different family in a different town. We leave the pastel streets of Sea Haven and ascend. We go up through the clouds into the artificial moon. This is the control room, the nerve center of the world's most profitable entity. Here sits Christoph, a man who views himself as a visionary, a father, and a god. He has spent 30 years crafting every detail of Truman's existence. He chose Truman's wife. He directed the death of Truman's father. He even controls the weather with a keypad. Christoph watches the monitors with a sense of divine right. To him, the real world is a place of filth, pain, and unpredictability. He believes he has given Truman a paradise. But the audience, the millions of people watching in bars, kitchens, and bedrooms, they don't want paradise. They want the drama of Truman's suffering. Among the viewers is Sylvia, the only person who ever truly loved Truman. Years ago, as an extra named Lauren, she tried to break the fourth wall. She took Truman to a secluded beach and tried to scream the truth into his heart.
Truman, they are watching us. This is a set. My name isn't Lauren, it's Sylvia. Everything is fake.
She was snatched away by her father, a production executive who claimed she was schizophrenic and moving to Fiji. Truman has lived for that memory ever since. He keeps a secret trunk filled with scraps of fashion magazines, meticulously cutting out eyes, noses, and chins to reconstruct Sylvia's face. He is a man trying to build a soul out of paper clippings in a world made of plastic. Truman decides to flee, but how do you escape a prison that has no bars? He tries to buy a plane ticket to Fiji, but the travel agency is booked for a month. He tries to take a bus to Chicago, but the driver, a technician who's never driven a bus, purposefully stalls the engine. He tries to drive his car across the bridge, but a nuclear power plant leak conveniently blocks the road. The world is closing in. Truman realizes the only way out is through his greatest trauma. When Truman was a boy, Christoph staged a boating accident where Truman's father was lost at sea. This gave Truman a paralyzing fear of water, a psychological fence that has kept him on the island for decades. But tonight, Truman outplays the cameras. He creates a dummy of himself using pillows and a tape recorder of snoring sounds. He tunnels out of his basement and makes for the marina. By the time the control room realizes Truman is missing, he is already on the water.
Find him. Cue the sun. I want every camera on that water.
In a terrifying display of power, Christoph turns on the sun at 3 a.m. The sky flashes from pitch black to blinding noon. They find Truman on a small sailboat called the Santa Maria. He is weeping, his knuckles white as he grips the tiller, but he is sailing.
He's not going to stop. Hit him with the wave machine. Give me a localized gale. Level 6.
The crew hesitates. "Sir, we can't. He might drown." Christoph doesn't care. He is the director, and he wants a climax. The artificial ocean turns into a churning nightmare. Lightning strikes the mast. Truman is knocked overboard, pinned under the hull. The world watches, horrified, as their friend struggles for air.
Is that the best you can do? You're gonna have to kill me.
Christoph realizes he cannot break Truman without killing him on live television, an act that would destroy the franchise. He stops the storm. The water turns to glass. The sun remains at a perpetual beautiful sunset. Truman sails on, his eyes fixed on the horizon. And then, the ultimate horror. The bow of the boat punctures the sky. There is a sickening thud as wood hits painted fiberglass. The infinite horizon is only 30 feet deep. Truman steps off the boat and finds he can walk. He is standing on a submerged concrete ledge at the very edge of the dome. He follows the wall, his hand trailing against the painted clouds, until he finds a small black door with a staircase. Above the door, a sign reads "Exit." Suddenly, the voice of Christoph fills the dome. It is no longer a director's voice. It is the voice of an egomaniacal god.
Truman, you can speak. I can hear you. I am the creator of a television show that gives hope and joy to millions. I have watched you since you were born. I know you better than you know yourself.
You never had a camera in my head.
You're afraid, that's why you can't leave. Out there is no more truth than there is in the world I created for you. The same lies, the same deceit. But in my world, you have nothing to fear. You are the star, Truman. If you leave, you'll be a nobody.
Truman stands at the threshold. Behind him is the perfect, safe plastic world of Sea Haven. In front of him is a dark hallway leading to a world that is messy, unscripted, and dangerous. A world where he might fail. A world where Sylvia is waiting. The world holds its breath. In the Truman bar, the drunks stop drinking. In the bath, a woman stops washing. The security guards lean into their monitors. Truman turns back to the camera. He knows where it is now. He smiles, not for the paycheck, not for the fans, but for himself.
In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
He bows. He steps through the door. The door clicks shut. The screen goes to static. For 30 years, this man was the center of the universe. And then the broadcast ends. The light in the moon goes out. And what happens next? Does the world mourn? Do they change their lives? No. A man sitting on a couch in a messy apartment looks at his friend and sighs.
What else is on? Check the listings.
They flip the channel. The show is over. But for Truman Burbank, life, real, terrifying, unfilmed life, has finally begun.